everybody, welcome back to Kelly Barlow Creations. If you're new to my channel and you're stopping by for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. Stick around a while by clicking that red button for more crafting on a budget, more everything on a budget videos to come. And if you click it again when the bell appears, YouTube should notify you every time I'm uploading a new video, depending on the option you choose in the drop-down menu of the bell. And if you're interested in following me on social media, you can find those links in the description box below. What have I got going on for you for today? Today I am bringing to you such a stinking cute DIY, I can hardly stand it. This DIY turned out so good, I love it. It's probably one of my favorite Christmas DIYs, Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs this season because of how budget friendly it was to make and just how fun it was. I've told you in the past, I'll tell you now, I am all about textures. I like to bring different textures into my DIYs, and that's what I did today using these items that you can get from the Dollar Tree right now. These wood snowman plaques and these, I guess, wood crates that the Dollar Tree is now carrying. This here is not a seasonal item, but the snowman obviously is, and I brought these together and I brought you such a stinking cute DIY. You are not gonna wanna miss this. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it and let me show you what I have in store for you using these items that you can get at the Dollar Tree right now, hopefully.
Alrighty, let's get started. For this DIY from the Dollar Tree, I'll be using one of these wood snowman plaques. I'll also be using one of the wood tree plaques as well, loving these. You're gonna need 3 wood rulers. Now, if you can't get them from the Dollar Tree, you can get some from Walmart that are very similar. 2 of these wood crates and an LED candle. I'm gonna start off by taking the snowman plaque, and because I want it to stand up, I figured what better way to help it stand up than to use some of Dollar Tree's wood blocks. And so just by simply taking 2 of the blocks and using some of Dollar Tree's new wood glue, which works amazing if you haven't tried it yet, I'm gonna place some on the sides of 2 blocks and just place a block in the front of the snowman and in the back at the very bottom. So this is an easy way to make these plaques stand up. Now, most of you know my theme for this Christmas is Quilted Christmas, so I will be using this hot cocoa adorable snowman Christmas fabric that I got a couple of years ago from Walmart. Like I said, when I tell you that Walmart has amazing Christmas fabrics, every year they come out with a new theme. This one hands down was my favorite, and so that's what I'm gonna use for this snowman. And for this snowman, I'm sure you all have seen my other plaque videos. I like to use fabric to add texture to them when I'm decorating them. And so for this one, I'm gonna add the fabric to his scarf and to the top of his hat. And so I'm just gonna cut out a couple pieces just big enough to cover those elevated areas. Well, I guess one elevated area, which would be the scarf, but the part of the hat that I'm covering is not the elevated part, which is the brim. To adhere the fabric onto this plaque, I'll be using this Mod Podge, and this is a matte. If you wanna use a gloss, you can do that. And I'm gonna start by placing the Mod Podge on the areas where I'm gonna put the fabric, then just simply place the fabric over the Mod Podge, then apply a second coat, and this is really gonna help adhere it onto these areas. Once I do that, I am gonna pop this in the oven for about 20-25 minutes on the lowest temperature my oven will go, which is 135 degrees. You're safe to go as high as 150 without discoloring your project. And so this is really just gonna help speed up the drying process because we all know that Mod Podge can take a few hours to dry. So I'd rather wait 20 minutes than a couple of hours. Once the Mod Podge and your fabric are completely dry, what's cool about this is by using this technique, you've stiffened and hardened your fabric, so it makes it really easy to cut off the excess fabric with a straight edge razor. If you wanna use an X-Acto knife, you can. Either or, just make sure you've got a nice fresh blade so you can get nice clean cuts. Once you've cut through the fabric, you can see that the Mod Podge and fabric will peel up off the areas that you're trying to remove the fabric from pretty easily. For the snow part of this snowman, I will be using this white puffy paint that you can get from Walmart for fairly inexpensive in the art section and painting section. I'm gonna apply a generous amount of this to the areas where the snow would be. And using a combination of the bottle and a paintbrush, I'm gonna kind of spread out this puffy paint because a little goes a long way and a lot comes out of the bottle. And you have to keep in mind when working with this, as this dries, it really does puff up. And so that's how you get a really cool effect, is by using this. Different textures really add to a DIY. And so I urge you not to be intimidated to try new things, because it really adds a whole new element, I would say, to a DIY when using a puffy paint versus using just a flat chalk paint. For the brim of the hat, which is the furry part of the hat and the pom-pom, I will be using some of Waverly's chalk paint in the color of Agave in addition to the white puffy paint. Because I still want that puffy textured look on the top of his hat here, I'm just gonna add some of this Agave paint, which is coordinating with the colors in the fabric that I'm using. And you can very easily make any color puffy paint if you've got acrylic paint, just by adding it to white paint. And so the two puffy paints that I really like to keep on hand are a black and a white, because you can basically make any color and you can darken any color or lighten any color with those two puffy paints. And so I don't buy a lot of different colored puffy paints for that reason, because you can see here just how easily I'm changing the color and I'm still gonna get the effect of the puffy paint. For Frosty's nose, I'm gonna go in with some orange puffy paint. This is a homemade color orange that I made using an orange acrylic paint and white puffy paint, and you can see that I have reused this bottle several times. It works perfect for this, and this is the perfect color orange for his nose. For his face, it is so simple to do just by using simple lines. And so again, I'm gonna use some black puffy paint, and just by making a parenthesis, really that's all this is, I'm gonna make his eyes. There's no real detail needed for this, and yet you still get a really stinking cute face out of it. And so I'm gonna do that for his eyes. His mouth is just as simple, just by making some easy lines and filling them in, you're gonna get a really cute mouth as well. Once his nose is dry, I'm gonna go in with the white paint, and I'm gonna draw just some simple lines just to add a bit of dimension to the carrot, his nose. I'm gonna add a bit of a light pink acrylic paint that is watered down using a dry brush to give him some rosy cheeks. Now for the wood tree plaque, I picked up this seasonal fat quarter at Walmart, which I thought was perfect for this DIY. It's got the pine needles and the pine cones. These seasonal fat quarters you can get for what I pay $1.47. So using the Mod Podge method, I'm gonna adhere this fabric onto one side of the tree. And this is what it should look like. I am loving the look of this. It's gonna be perfect. Using some of Dollar Tree's wood glue, and let me tell you, this wood glue works amazing. I'm gonna place some glue on one side of these wood crates because I'm gonna glue two of them together. Now using some of the wood rulers, you're gonna need 3 of these. If you can't find these rulers at the Dollar Tree, Walmart has the old school wood rulers, which would work perfectly. You can easily remove the plastic strips on the front of these. So you're gonna wanna remove those even though we're not using the front side of these rulers. On one side of the ruler, there's a hole. On that side, I'm gonna place a bit of glue on 2 of them, and I'm gonna stand these up on the back side of these crates, gluing them. This is very similar to a DIY that I just recently did. I'll link that video in the description box below if you wanna see it. Then I'm gonna take and glue the last ruler across the top. I'm going for kind of like that wood window type feel, and so that's what I'm hoping to achieve by using these rulers and these crates. To stain my wood window, I will be using one of my favorite methods of staining, using a liquid shoe polish in the color of black and brown. This is a shoe polish that you can get at just about any Dollar General, any 99-cent store. I've been told a lot of people can't really find this shoe polish at a Dollar Tree. I have found it. I find it more often than not at the 99-cent store, but when I do find it at the Dollar Tree, I pick it up. So just by mixing the brown and the black shoe polish in a bowl, it's gonna give you a nice dark walnut color. And I really love this color because it is so rustic and has such a warm feel. It's one of my favorite colors for staining. And so why not use a shoe polish instead of a Minwax for minimal price? People ask, do you have to worry about the shoe polish rubbing off? No, this shoe polish dries perfectly. There's no scent, there's no rub off, and it's an easy budget-friendly way of staining wood. To give this window a more weathered, soft look, I will be using some of Waverly's Wax White. I don't know if you can call this a paint. I'm gonna call it a paint. And using a dry brush stroke method, I'm gonna lightly apply this to all of the areas that I stained. Okay, I gotta say it, I am loving the outcome of this, and I am loving how easy it is to work without Waverly wax. That is amazing. It went on easily and it gave the look that I was looking for. Now that I've got the window done, I'm gonna take the tree plaque, and I've already held the tree up to the back side of the window so I know just where I need to place the glue. And using some hot glue, I'm gonna glue it to the back of what is my window, I guess you can say. I've got a place right up front for the snowman in one of these wood crates, and I'm gonna place it in the wood crate that's off to the side of the tree. To save just a bit of money, so I didn't have to go out and buy sticks, I could use what I have around me because it's that time of year where our trees and bushes are looking a little scarce. They could probably use a little bit of trimming. So I trimmed off a couple of these stick branches from a bush that I'm gonna bundle together. Again, this is something that's gonna add texture to this. It's gonna add dimension and height, and that's what I like to add to my DIYs. So I'm gonna bundle them together, and using a bit of twine, I'm gonna wrap it around the bottom and tie it, and I'm also gonna add some glue to it just to really keep those sticks together so they don't fall out. Using some of Dollar Tree's reindeer moss. Now this is something that they usually keep in stock around this type of year. I love it. I'm gonna use that as filler in the crates. I'm gonna place the sticks right in back of Frosty. So what am I gonna do with Dollar Tree's LED candle? I'm gonna take some of the twine that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna wrap it around the middle of this candle, and I'm gonna do this several times because I want a good thick fair amount of twine here. Then using those awesome wood DIY stickers that the Dollar Tree just started carrying a few months ago, I figured that this snowflake one would be the perfect embellishment to go on top of the twine. And this here is the perfect spot for the candle. I'm not gonna glue this candle down because if the battery dies, I wanna be able to change it, so I'm just gonna place it in here. I had 3 of the wood snowflake stickers left from the pack, and so I decided to place them in the upper corner of this window because why not? I like the way it looks. Okay, so if I'm being completely honest, I'm not completely happy with the front of this. The crates feel a little flat to me. It feels a bit bare. And so because I had one of those mini trees from the Dollar Tree on hand in my stash, I decided to disassemble it and use the branches, add them here and there to these crates. I'm liking the outcome of it so far. What I am feeling though is that there needs to be snow. This is a snowman and there's no snow here. So I'm gonna take some white acrylic paint and I'm just gonna paint on some snow onto the branches, and I feel like this tree needs a bit of snow as well. And so right along the edges of the tree, I'm gonna add some snow. And now I am happy with the way this is looking. And there you have it. This really was such a fun piece to create. And as you can tell, I don't always have a plan for my DIYs. I have a vision of what I want it to be in my head, and I kind of go with it, and I tweak things here and there, add things to make it become the piece that I want it to become. And sometimes these creations do take a bit of work, but when I'm crafting and creating and DIYing, I don't always like my DIYs to take 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes I just like to pop in a Hallmark movie and watch TV and craft on a Sunday afternoon.
I love this DIY. I told you this is definitely one of my favorites. This is one that I'm keeping, and it's one that I really don't want to put away. I would keep it out all year round if I could. I hope you all enjoyed today's DIY. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and let's get this video to, you guessed it, 5,000 likes, because like I always say, each and every one of your thumbs up and those comments that you leave down below, they really do help my channel to grow, and it helps YouTube to notice me just a bit more. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day, happy crafting on a budget, and bye for now, everybody.